I said I wanna rock.
Are we gonna be goofing off like this every day?
We're not goofing off. We're creating musical fusion.
Wow, you're amazing, dude.
Thanks. I like to play.
I'm a small reporter from Rolling Stone magazine that's in town to do an exclusive interview with Michael Jackson.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
It is time for the Unsigned and Unhinged Meltdown.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Unsigned and Unhinged Meltdown. I have, of course, is your host, the one and only Frank E. I'm always excitingly, extraordinarily entertaining. And I have with me my co-host, the one and only Jay Smalls, the host of the Nerdcast and the Undercover Brony. Jay Smalls, say what's up.
What's up?
And I have with me our special guests. I got with us Cody and Corey from the amazing band ZamTrip. How you guys doing?
Good. How about you?
Oh, we're doing great. We're doing great. How's the weather out there? I know you guys are a little bit further away.
It's pretty nice. I think we're about 70 degrees right now. So
yeah, that's how it is here. It's kind of muggy, and I don't like that. It makes me sweat and get all nasty. But
yeah, it was high 80s earlier with a lot of humidity.
Yeah, it was nasty earlier. Really nasty.
Well, didn't you guys have snow like last week too?
That's how it is in Wisconsin. You know, it's raining, it's snowing. You never know what's going to happen.
I loved summer last year. It was on a Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
So, moving on here. The question I first have for you guys is, where did you come up with the name ZamTrip, and is there any kind of meaning behind it?
Yeah, so the meaning behind it is in the band, the drummer Corey and the guitar player Kyle and me, we're all brothers, and our last name is Zampedri. So before we had Sam in the band, it was really just us three, and actually our optometrist came up with the name, and we were doing a couple shows, and they're like, well, what's your name? And so we just remembered him saying that. So we just said it. They announced it. And it kind of stuck.
Oh, wow. I mean, now, as far as ZamTrip going, I mean, there's like no real meaning behind the name other than just being like the last name.
Yeah. It's three brothers. So that's the triple.
Okay.
And then Zampedri. So ZamTrip.
Gotcha.
Yeah, everyone usually thinks it has something to do with like a drug trip.
That's what I thought actually.
No, I mean, like some of the greatest bands in the world just come up on stage like, well, this is our band name. No, one of my favorite bands ever, which a lot of bands don't know, or a lot of people don't never heard of this band, but Ugly Kid Joe.
Oh yeah.
When they did their first show, they're like, "What's your band name?" We're like, Ugly Kid Joe, and it just stuck. But that's neither here nor there. John?
Well, next question we have for you is: have there been any lineup changes, and how did the band get together and meet?
So there was, I think Sam is our 7th or 8th singer. And so we started in 2009. Like, we were all playing together before that, but we started as a band in 2009. Mm-hmm. And we've had every singer that was in the band was only in at most for about 6 months to a year. Mm-hmm. So pretty much, and some of them were like 2 in a year, 3 in a year. So we have Sam in the band since 2012, but before that, it was like every 6 months we were changing singers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, as far as that goes, I mean, dude, I love her voice. I really do.
It's an excellent voice.
She's all the talent.
Because I seen you guys with her at the Broad Stop for Shrimpfest this year. And that was my introduction to ZamTrip.
Oh, the acoustic show.
Yeah, that was actually really impressive.
Well, thank you.
I was pretty blown away by that because let's call a spade a spade. I mean, any band can rock out really hard, but how many bands can honestly sit there and pull off an acoustic set? I mean, that's kind of hard to do nowadays.
Much more.
Yeah, well, we've had a couple shows where we've had to play 3 to 4 hours acoustic.
Oh wow!
And so we know a bunch of cover songs acoustic, and one thing that really helps us is instead of practicing full setup every practice, we try to at least get one acoustic practice in because, like you said, you can cover up mistakes with distortion, and just if something happens, you can just kind of play through it, you know. But really, to get as tight as you can be, you need to play acoustic. And so we try to do that at least once a week. And so when they told us that we'd be playing an acoustic set, we thought it was pretty cool because usually it's just the electric set when we're on tour.
So one question, kind of going off of that, do you prefer an electric set versus an acoustic set, or is there any preference with that?
I think I prefer an electric set. What about you, Corey?
Well, I prefer an electric set because when I play on the cajon, that box thing I was playing, my hands about fall off because I have to compete with the volume of guitars.
And the energy is just so different during an electric set than it is acoustic. But I mean, it's still fun to play acoustic.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned doing covers. Is there any certain covers that you guys like to do? And when you do a cover, do you guys change it up and kind of make it like a ZamTrip original? Or do you try to stay true to the original song?
So we play, total, we know about 100 cover songs.
Oh, wow.
Because sometimes, I mean, we love to play our original music, but sometimes when we're booked in bars for like 6-7 hours for all-nighters and stuff, you can't just keep repeating the same like 10 songs over and over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we, some of my favorite songs we do, though, most of them are classic rock, like 70s, 80s rock, and then we do some current stuff for our covers. But my favorite is Black Dog from Led Zeppelin.
Ooh.
Oh, yes.
And that is a blast to play, but it's scary at the same time. Like, I love it and I hate it because one wrong beat and the whole song is ruined because that timing is so messed up.
Yeah, that I would love to see. I would love to see you guys do that.
Well, we play it almost every show. I think that's one that.
No, I'm saying I'd like to see you guys play that like not acoustically. Is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah. That one's fun and it's definitely a crowd favorite whenever we play it.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite songs, though, I know a ton of bands cover it, but we do Folsom Prison Blues from Johnny Cash, and I think like we've heard like I said, a ton of covers of it, but we kind of put our own spin on it.
Yeah.
And so whenever we play that, when someone thinks something's going to happen, we kind of change it up. And nice. I like playing that song because it just kind of throws people off, and they usually like it a lot. So
yeah, it's very good to have like a vast array of different songs you can pull from, because there's a lot of bands that I've seen that they have some other stuff, but it's mainly their own, and it kind of can fall apart at times. So it's good to have that large set list that you can pull from.
Yeah, well, I think a big part of that, though, is because since we're in Wyoming, there's not really a music scene here. Mm-hmm. And what music scene is here, it's normally country.
Yeah.
So we have to kind of pick and choose where we play. Mm-hmm. So there's a couple places here where you can only play country.
Yeah.
And so we learned enough songs to do a night of country songs. Mm-hmm. That way we're not, and plus it helps us musically too, like writing different things. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you learn different genres, there's so much more you can do when you write your own stuff that you might not have been able to learn just sticking to the rock, you know.
Now, I know you guys had an early time slot at Shrimpfest, but this area is really, really good towards the local music scene. How did you feel the crowd reaction was, even though you had an early set time?
Well, you know, I thought the crowd was really good because, like you said, it was an early set time and it was acoustic. And we were one of the last bands to get added to that show because it was kind of a last-minute run that we put together.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
so
because Tom Hooks got you on that show, right?
Yeah. I actually texted him and I said, hey, we have some time off. We're wanting to do a run. Do you have dates open in these days? And he said, well, you guys can play Hijinks this night. And he said, if you want, I can get you on this festival the next day, but it'd have to be acoustic because I've already booked all the other slots. So we did it because, that was the first time we've played Wisconsin, and we heard that the music scene there was great, and now we actually got to see it, and we are definitely, like, we're playing back in Wisconsin, 4 times this month?
Oh, wow.
Well, if you're down and over in this area again, you have to let me know.
All right, we will. Yeah, I know we're playing the 26th at Hijinks.
Okay.
We're playing the 27th at Bratfest. And then the 29th in Menominee, I think. Is that how you guys pronounce it? Menominee?
Yes.
Menominee Falls, yeah.
Okay, yep. We're playing there. And then on the acoustic. Yeah, we're actually playing that one acoustic too. And that's going to be a 2-hour acoustic show.
Okay.
And then the 30th, we're playing at Everybody's in Chippewa.
Okay. All right, great. So now, a question that I ask everybody, because you can get a negative aspect on this as well as a positive aspect, but what is your opinion on social media as far as, like, Facebook, bands in town, and how it helps or even hinders the local music scene?
So for Facebook, I think it is a huge help for local bands because, I know bands used to, put ads in papers for their shows and stuff, and, we still go around for our shows and plaster posters all over stoplights and fences and stuff, just basically litter our town with show posters. But we put ads out on Facebook, too, because there's so many people who will never see your posters or don't read the paper or anything,
exactly.
or don't even listen to the radio. So I think bands in town and Facebook are great for as far as getting people to shows. That being said, I think it has hurt, looking at how the music scene used to be. I think social media has destroyed, and iTunes and everything has destroyed the business side of it, like a band being able to release an album and people not being able to get on YouTube or Facebook and see what the band does live. It was all a surprise when someone would go to a show, and now they know exactly all the stops you're pulling out and everything. People know exactly what's coming, so you really have to work 10 times harder to win the crowd over when they already know what you're going to do most of the time.
And not only that, I think, too, that I agree with Corey as far as the plus sides of the social media. But for the live aspect, too, it could really hurt a band because, there's a band's always going to have a bad show, every once in a while. And now,
exactly.
If something happens, someone's got their phone out, and then the first thing they do is post it to Facebook or YouTube. And I think that can also hurt a band, too.
Yeah. Now, do you guys use Reverb Nation as far as networking with other bands?
We have a Reverb Nation, but we've never really used it. It's just our singer Sam. She usually we kind of split it up. So Kyle runs our Twitter, and then Sam runs our Instagram, and Corey and I both run the Facebook page. But as far as the Reverb Nation goes, we've never really, I guess, tried to figure out how to run it or, like you said, network through other bands through it.
Now, also going along the lines of social media, do you feel like websites such as SoundCloud and Bandcamp, do those also help local bands that have not been signed up yet?
I think they do because it gives a way for people everywhere to hear the music. I don't like, however, if Spotify, how they only give an artist a sixth of a penny per spin
Yeah.
And things like that. I feel like to me at least, if you want to illegally download our music, cool. Like, you're sharing our music everywhere.
Exactly.
But at the same time, that's kind of, bands put all of their time writing the music, all of their money writing the music. And I mean, the song costs as much as a coffee at a gas station.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that people should be more willing to buy the artist's music, and that's personally me, because I always buy everybody's music. If they're trying to show me, I buy it instead of just streaming it, you know?
Yeah. See, I totally relate to that, because I used to go on, like, Pirate Bay and download everything. Until, like, I met a group of friends of mine who were in a local band, 3 Left from Kenosha. And I know I say their name all the time, but they are the band that got me started doing this whole thing. And, you know, I've been to their practices, I've seen their writing process, and they put their blood, sweat, and tears in this. So I don't use Pirate Bay anymore for anything, because if you like the music, go and spend your hard-earned money on it, because they put their hard-earned money into their music. So I mean, that's all I got to say about that.
And I definitely tend to go for, if I can get the music readily available, I'll buy it. But if it's something that's a lot older that may not be in a CD store, I'll go over to Pirate Bay or whatever.
Yeah. So the first song that we're going to spin for everybody, now, John and I were talking about this. It seems like I got the impression that this right here is like one of those driving songs. You're on a long road trip, and you could just sit there and drive to this song. And that's Wasted Days and Long Nights. It's like one of those cruising songs. You know what I mean? Like I could picture cruising in my car on a road trip.
Yeah, that's actually been a crowd favorite of ours. That's one of our older songs, and one of our biggest influences is Blackstone Cherry. And
I can see
we got the opportunity to open for them, and every time we watched videos of them or heard their CDs, we would just think, we got to write a Blackstone Cherry feel riff. And finally we came up with that opening riff in it, or the main riff in it, I should say. And so I think that that's definitely one of our most, like, the fan favorited song.
Yeah. So is there like any kind of meaning behind the song or at all, other than the Blackstone Cherry feel?
Basically, we wanted to write like the 80s party anthems, you know? It doesn't matter that it's 30 years later, everybody still wants to hear those songs and crank them and get drunk to them and party. So we just wanted to write one of those songs.
All right, guys, check it out. This is Wasted Days and Long Nights.
Dark side, we're here to party all night. Fill it up, we're ready to go. We all live for that rock and roll. Count it off, baby, 1, 2, 3. Sing it loud and take a walk with me. Wasted days and long nights. You know it's what we need. We're all living the high life, young, wild and free. Come on, put your hands up and sing it loud for me. On the dark side, there's just one feeling in this world I need. The tears I shed, the blood I bleed. I give every bit of my
I was cruising jamming to that song. What about you, John?
Absolutely, that was a great song.
Great tune. I think I finished off a couple kegs and 40s while we were doing that. I did a couple keg stands, maybe a beer bong. I don't know. So the question I have for you guys: do you prefer to play on a larger stage or a smaller stage?
Well, I know this sounds weird because the response you're expecting is as big a crowd as you can get, but we've played shows before to like 200, 300, 400 people, and no one even cares that we're there.
Yeah.
Like we're background music. And then sometimes we've played in bars just playing our original music to like 15 people that are absolutely losing their minds for 2 hours when we're playing. And that's more fun to me than playing in front of 500 people who don't care. But
exactly.
We've played the shows like opening for Hailstorm, Blackstone Cherry, 1,000 Foot Crutch. We've played those shows, and it's 5,000 people who are all into what you're doing, and that is the absolute best feeling you can ever get when you're playing music.
Exactly. Because now, where I was getting at is, with the intimacy of the crowd, where it's just like you're right there, you're up front with the crowd, you feel the crowd energy. As opposed to, having that larger stage where you're opening up for 1,000 Foot Crutch or something, and you can't even really see the crowd. But you have all the room in the world to move around on stage, but you don't really get the crowd energy.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like Corey was saying, we've as far even it being in the crowd too. From that point of view, I think the smaller venues, like Hijinks, for example.
Yeah.
The first time we played there a couple months ago, we had, how many people were there? Probably, you could barely move in there. And
Hijinks is a great bar for a venue.
I love Hijinks. That's probably one of my favorite venues we've ever played. And everybody there is just so nice.
And the owners there and the bartenders are really great.
They treat the bands how they should be treated, and you don't get that everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Another good bar that I've been to out not too far from Hijinks was the Back Bar in Janesville. And they even have a drum rise as well on stage.
Really?
So, yeah, and great venue. Not too much for the crowd because it's all bar stools and everything, and it's almost like a standing room only. And I'm disabled, so it's just like I can't get on a bar stool, and there's no standing room only for me. So other than that, I had such a blast there. It was a great venue. The sound was amazing.
We've actually heard of the Back Bar before, and I think we've tried booking it a couple times, but we ended up with talking to Tom and Hijinks instead. But we may try to book that one soon. But I don't think we'll ever have a Wisconsin run without Hijinks if Tom will have us, because that place is just amazing.
Now, the next question we have for you is, outside of Hijinks, is there any favorite venues you like to frequent?
So I think my favorite venue, besides Hijinks, is actually, we have played Diamonds in Jerome, Idaho a few times, and we've played with bands like Wayland there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just the people in, Jerome, Idaho is such a small place. Venue owner aside and everything, just the people that come out and they will pack that place front to back. I think it's only 300 capacity or something, 200 or 300 capacity.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody there, it doesn't matter if you're the local band or the national that's coming through. The entire show, the entire time, people are up front, 100% into what you're doing. And it's just a good stage setup, great sound system, easy load on. I love everything about that place.
I think one of my favorite venues is probably in the Mesa Theater in Grand Junction, Colorado. It's just giant theater, and they have a huge stage, and I love that they have bands coming through there all the time, and we've gotten the opportunity to play with so many great bands there, like Josh Todd and the Conflict from Buck Cherry, and we're playing with Red Sun Rising there in August, and it's just amazing venue. So
now, of the two states that you mentioned, the first thing I gotta say, is it Idaho or Idaho? Idaho. Now, Colorado is actually a legal state now. So, were you able to partake in Colorado?
Oh no, we go to Colorado. We just go play our shows, and then we're off.
There's millions of listeners that want to know. That's why
we don't dish the dirt.
We
what happens in Colorado stays in Colorado.
We're 420 friendly here at Unsigned Unhinged. Doesn't mean that we all partake, but some people do. Anyway, so we touch based on venues, stage size, and everything. What's some of your more memorable shows, whether it be the worst show or the best show?
Oh no, I got this. I got to start this one. So we were playing. Oh, this is another awesome venue. We were playing at Louis G's in Fife, Washington, and we're up on stage. Huge setup again. Great sound system. Big light show. We're up there playing, and there's a pretty decent crowd there. Plenty of people watching for Cody to make his mistake. And he goes to do the gunslinger where you throw your bass around your neck, where you just fling it around your neck and catch it.
Yeah.
Well, he'd been practicing it for 2 weeks and nailed it. And we get into playing Dead Man's Story, and right when we count off before the whole band comes in, Cody goes to do the gunslinger, and his strap actually split in half, from the middle of the strap.
Oh, God.
And he threw the bass straight into the drum riser, with an insane amount of force for throwing it.
It knocked a tuning peg off. It took 3 holes out of my bass. And,
oh, wow.
Oh.
That's my favorite moment. Us playing this.
I do that?
But I still play that bass live. That bass was a $300 bass, and it's probably been the best bass I've ever had. Because
hey, if you can't duck it,
damage.
If you can't duck it, man, that's all I can say.
I think one of my most memorable shows though was another mistake from a band member, which was pretty funny to us. We were opening for Lita Ford in Idaho, and they had a big stage, and they had a ramp that just went right up to the stage. And Sam, it was maybe a year or so after she had joined the band, and we told her she loved wearing flip-flops.
Oh, Lord.
And we told her,
here comes a flip-flop story.
Oh, yeah. I told her, I said, Sam, when you're on stage, do not wear flip-flops. And she said, oh, it's fine. What could happen? So we're playing with Lita Ford, and of course, it's right after we're getting done. So the stage crew's trying to get all of our stuff off and get her stuff set back up, and it's really fast-paced. And so she was trying to run down the ramp,
which had grip tape on it.
Grip tape, yeah. And she actually slipped, and she slid down the entire ramp, on her foot.
Oh, gosh.
And it ripped off part of her toe.
Oh, ouch.
And ever since then, she has worn closed-toed shoes on stage.
That's how nice Cody is. That's his favorite moment, is Sam tearing off her toe.
Well, I mean...
That's a note for my girlfriend. Flip-flops are not a fashion statement. Why? Because you can rip off your toe.
Yeah. Well, I mean...
I'm telling her that when she gets home tonight.
We had our manager there with us, and I think she had been pre-medically trained, so she had all the stuff to take care of Sam's foot, and it healed. Mm-hmm. But, I mean... we had told her so many times before that, don't wear flip-flops on stage. And then that happened, so it's kind of like an I told you so moment.
Yeah. So, now this one, you guys can both field this one, but what's your most embarrassing moment on stage?
Ooh.
I think the Louis G story was mine.
Okay, so my most embarrassing story, I have a bunch of them. I think
God.
the one for me was probably, it wasn't like this, like obvious, he fell off the drum riser or anything like that. So when we were opening for Hailstorm, that was the first show we had played with more than like 100, 200 people, and there was 5,000 people standing in front of us. And everybody saw how young we were when we got on stage, and they were booing us and everything. So I was just as nervous as could be when I get on stage. And I only realized it after the performance when I watched the videos. I double timed, maybe triple timed almost every single song we played. So we're up there playing like Metal Health from Quiet Riot, and it sounded like, it doesn't even sound like the song anymore.
A speed metal song.
Yeah. Like you were fast forwarding the whole set, and it was the worst thing I'd ever done on stage. But I played a drum solo, and I dropped the drumstick in the middle of the solo, and I didn't realize anybody was on the side of the stage watching me. And I looked up, finished my drum solo, and I turned around, and RJ Hale, the drummer from Hailstorm, was standing there watching me. And I just had the worst drum solo, triple time every single song, right in front of RJ Hale.
Wow.
Oops.
Oops, I did it again.
I think, well, the Louis G's one for me was definitely the most embarrassing one. But we were recording our music video for Wasted Days and Long Nights, and we were doing it during a live show. And the red bass I usually play, I had forgotten to change the batteries in it right before the show. And once Corey started the count off, cameras rolling, my bass cuts out. And then so we kind of just like, Corey just kind of played a little drum fill to make it look like it was supposed to be there. And then I had to change my bass. That's why I have that 5-string in that video, is because my bass just like stopped working right once we were started to record our music video.
Oh, wow.
Well, the next song we're going to be going into is called Miles Away. Do you guys want to tell us a bit about this song and the background of it?
So this one actually kind of has a cool story. It was, so this movie company, this independent film company, got a hold of us, and they said they were getting a hold of tons of bands to write original music for a movie soundtrack. And I can't remember the name of the movie, but it never came to be. Like, they never got back with us after we sent them the song and everything. And we thought, well, they just didn't like it, they're not going to get a hold of us. Well, the movie never got made, but we spent hours and hours and hours and days writing this song and just writing it around the plot of the movie. And once we figured out it wasn't going to be in the movie, we were like, well, at least we kind of have a good song. Something good came out of this.
Well,
and
it's a great song and a good story behind it.
Yeah, we started playing it live, and it got such a good response. We just decided to release that as our single, make it the main focus.
Yeah, I mean, it's a story you could tell your grandkids. Be like, Grandpa, how did you write the song Miles Away? Well, you see, Sonny, there was a stupid movie company, and they wanted us to write a song, and they never called us back. Freaking idiots.
Yeah, well, actually, we didn't even that's our brand new single. We released it last week, but when we recorded that in January, we didn't even know what song we were gonna record when we went into the studio. We'd been asking a lot of people. We even put a poll up on Facebook for people who have heard our new songs, which one we should record. We were just asking everybody, and most of the people were saying Miles Away. But So Long, we weren't sure if we should release a ballad or not, because So Long isn't a heavy song, but it's not a slow song either. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of wanting to do just a heavier song to release it as our single, and we got in the studio, and Joel Pack from Rigby Row Studios in Salt Lake, he gave us acoustics, and he said, play all the songs you're thinking about recording. And Corey's like, all right, well, where's your drum kit? He said, nope, you're going to play on the couch.
Oh, my.
And Yeah, and so we played 5 songs for him, and it was kind of crazy because like you seen him making mental notes of each part of each song, and that's how he just wanted us to do it that way acoustic, because then he said that made him feel like he made a mental note of how each song made him feel after it was done. Mm-hmm. And Miles Away, when we got finished with it, I think that was the second song we had played, and he's like, well, I'll hear the other ones, but that's the one you're recording. And I was like, oh, all right.
All right, cool. Well, I wrote a song about it. Why, here you go.
Yeah, and
right.
he's amazing. So,
all right, so this is their new single for a movie that was never made. This is Miles Away. Check it out, guys.
Times and places, names and faces always seem to fade, but when I think about us, the memories that we made, I still see you staring back into my eyes, and I still remember the day we said goodbye. 1,000 miles away, memories like a record, it plays every day. Without you by my side, because you're stuck in my head again, playing on and on, 'cause you're miles away, and here is where you belong.
right, so that was Miles Away. Next question we have for you is, do you have any interesting stories about some of the first concerts and albums you've produced?
So, for the first concerts, do you mean like just first we ever played, or
No, like the first concert you ever been to in your entire life. Like,
Okay,
what was the first concert you ever attended?
the first concert I ever attended was Ted Nugent at our county fair.
There you go.
And
There's a name drop.
I think I was like 6 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that was the same for me, and I was 4 years old.
Wow.
So, of course, we didn't actually see the whole concert, but it sounded pretty good.
Of course, all the listeners know my first concert was AC/DC.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a name drop. John, what was your first concert you ever been to?
First concert that I went to, probably say it would have to be Skillet.
Yeah, the Rock the Lake show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I took
They put on an amazing show.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, they do.
They have such a great stage presence about them.
Yes, they do. What was the first album you ever bought or was gifted to you?
I can't remember. So, Kyle, funny story.
Yeah, you're gonna like this one.
He's gonna get super mad. I'm telling you this, but Kyle used to have Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Britney Spears,
Christina Aguilera.
Oh my!
I think that was the first CD he ever bought was Christina Aguilera.
No, my favorite was Kyle had. Do you guys remember? They were like a boy band for like 2 years. They were called Dream Street.
I can't say I remember that one.
It was, yeah. It's the cheesiest album cover you'll ever see, but it was on cassette, and Kyle.
Now, was
Kyle
that just
played
a
the Dream Street cassette.
See, my first album that was ever gifted to me was New Kids on the Block, but I was trying to get with all the ladies, you know? I'm not going to lie, I was like 10 years old, and I was like, dude, all the girls like New Kids on the Block at school, so I had all the New Kids on the Block swag, because I thought if I had the New Kids gear, the ladies would like me. Yeah, no, the ladies thought I was gay, and it didn't work out too well for me. John, what was the first album you ever had?
Well, it also had to be Skillet, so the first album I got from them was Alien Youth, and I really enjoyed that album mainly because it had kind of a mishmash of, hard rock with some 9 Inch Nails thrown in there.
Awesome. Now, what would you say is some of your influences, whether it be musical or non-musical?
So, just for me, as a drummer, I would say my biggest influence would have to be Tommy Lee.
Okay, you lost brownie points for me because the greatest drummer of all time is Neil Peart. Everybody should know Neil Peart is the greatest drummer ever to pick up sticks.
Yes.
I believe I misheard you. You said Jimmy the Rev Sullivan, right?
No. I said Neil Peart.
Okay, hold on. You can't trash the Rev. He's in my top 5.
Okay, Neil Peart's in the top 5. If he's not, just lie to me and say he is.
He is. He's number 2. Tommy Lee's number 1, and only because I like Tommy Lee's showmanship better. But the Rev's number 3.
Good news, guys. Sam just came in.
Yeah.
Hey, Sam.
Hey.
Well, now we have... What's going on? Should we get Sam's partake in this?
Sure.
All right, Sam. Who are some of your influences, musically or non-musically speaking?
Honestly, one of my top influences, that has to be Lizzie Hale. I love her showmanship, and she's just an overall... Can you cuss on this?
Yes.
What?
She's a badass.
Absolutely.
Can I cuss? I don't fucking care.
You can say whatever the fuck you
What
want.
the fuck? Did we just fucking cuss on here? Oh, fuck, shit.
It's my fault, Sam.
Should we tell Samantha that you spoiled the story of the flip-flops?
That's always the story.
Oh, yes, we heard the flip-flop story, which I'm going to share with my girlfriend now because she's like, I need to get flip-flops because it's summertime. Now I can tell her it's not okay to always wear flip-flops. Should we embarrass Samantha and find out what her first album ever was?
Do it.
Do it. What was the first album that was ever gifted to you or that you purchased?
Actually, I'd have to say it was like a Britney Spears album.
So her and Kyle bought the same album.
I think all of us except John were into the boy bands and poppy thing. I don't know.
Well, I love NSYNC too.
You know, the first album I actually bought was the Cinderella 20th anniversary CD.
The first album never bought with my hard-earned money was House of Pain, 5 Malt Lyrics. It was the first album I ever bought with my hard-earned money. I'm like, dude, I'm getting a House of Pain because I want to jump around all over the house. I was like, jump around! All right, Samantha, what was the first concert you ever been to?
Oh, let me think. Heck.
Wasn't it Heart?
That was one of them. Probably one of my first concerts was Heart and Def Leppard.
Very nice.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Hey, did you know that the drummer from Def Leppard only has one arm?
Yeah.
If you didn't know, Bloodhound Gang will tell you. I'm telling you, man.
Did you know Corey tries to play like that, like all the time?
We have a Def Leppard song we used to cover, and anytime we'd play it, he'd stick his arm inside of his shirt.
Oh gosh.
I don't know whether
I want to see video of that one.
I don't know whether to call that, just being nice to it, or I don't know.
The things that people do to try and get ahead in life.
So I only do it when we're playing a bar and there's like nobody there, because there's always someone who's going to get mad about it. And then little do I know, someone's taking a video and then it's on Facebook for everybody to see.
Yeah, there you go.
Get 1,000 angry likes.
There's 1,000 angry people. Why did you disrespect Def Leppard? For shame. Oh, man. So who are some of your non-musical influences?
That's a good question. Sam, you're first. I got to think about this one.
That's really hard.
We got to get the theme of Jeopardy playing right now, man. Come on. Do, 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 do,
what about you?
do, do.
So non-musical influence. That is a hard one. Clint Eastwood.
Oh, whatever.
Oh, God. He had to go with Clint Eastwood. Now I'm just thinking of Back to the Future 3. My name is Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood. Hello there, Mr. Eastwood. Where is your hat?
I had to say Clint Eastwood because if you disagree with him, you might get shot.
This is true. Do you feel lucky?
You guys, time's up. What'd you pick?
Well, do you feel lucky?
I don't think I really have any influences that aren't musical.
Say Jim Carrey.
Well, I guess I do. Like, it doesn't have to be someone famous. Like, my boss influences me a lot. She teaches me to, like, not give a fuck what anybody says and, yeah, be a badass. And tell the boys to fuck off.
Honestly, if any of you want to go with Jim Carrey, just think of the scene from Dumb and Dumber. Want to hear the stupidest noise ever?
Honestly, I learned about not giving a fuck from Big Sean. I don't fuck with you. I want to hear a band turn that into a rock song, because it should be. I'm just saying. Like,
so I just want to say this on a recording so they can't tell me I never brought it up. I want to cover Regulators from Nate Dogg and Warren G.
Oh, God. I want to hear that.
Make Sam
I would love to hear that.
I can rap.
Kyle's been on a kick about us covering a pop song for so long now.
For the longest time, I thought the song Eminem did for 8 Mile, which I forgot. It's on the tip of
Losing Yourself.
Losing Yourself. I said that song should be a hard rock song. And I was on YouTube the other day, and there was a band doing a metal version of it. It sounded like crap, like how they did it, but it was done.
I think one of my favorite covers I've ever heard was Boba Flex's cover of "Hey You" from Pink Floyd.
Yes, I heard that cover, and I absolutely loved it. My friend Erica sent that to me, and I was like, oh my god, that is great.
Yeah, they did an awesome job.
John, what's the favorite cover song you ever had?
In all honesty, I don't really have one.
Well, you suck. Okay.
Well, thank you.
Anybody else want to cover that one? What's your favorite cover song ever made?
Cody.
I know Corey's would be any of the country Motley Crue covers.
That is a lie. No, hold on. Motley Crue is the greatest band of all time, and the Outlaw Country album made me want to cut my ears off. I couldn't stand any of that. My favorite cover song of all time would probably have to be Stone Sour covering Too Fast for Love.
There you go.
Actually, I did think of a cover song.
Oh, he's got one.
Richard Cheese doing his cover of Down with the Sickness.
I've never heard that.
Isn't that the version that was in Dawn of the Dead?
It's fucking hysterical.
It sounds like elevator music.
Oh, yeah, I have actually heard that.
Have you seen Dawn of the Dead?
Yes, we have.
Where they're in the elevator, like, kind of, and it's playing, or not the elevator. It was the scene where, like,
they're on the rooftop, right?
yeah, and Down with this, and there's a guy doing Down with the Sickness.
Yeah, that actually is a really good cover. I know one cover that we all really enjoy was Volbeat's cover of Rebound, Teenage Bottle Rocket, because it's really cool to have a band like that cover a band from Wyoming.
Yeah. I really, like, who doesn't love a good cover song? I'm sorry. Everybody loves a good cover song. My favorite, and it's probably because I sing the song I sing it just like this when I do karaoke, and it was before the band actually covered it that way, but my favorite cover song is probably Godsmack's version of Come Together by the Beatles.
Oh, yeah.
And I sing it just like him. And that was before they actually published it.
That is a really good cover.
But here, a unique one, which I forgot the following. The TV show is The Following with Kevin Bacon. There's a band that I never even heard of before in my life. KI Theory. They covered Stand By Me.
I've never heard that.
Oh, you should look it up. KI Theory, Stand By Me. It was on the end credits in season 2. An episode in season 2 of The Following with Kevin Bacon.
Yeah,
That's a great show.
Another good one that I can really think of is the Five Finger Death Punch cover of Bad Company.
Oh, that's a classic. Everybody says that.
So actually, cool fact about that one, the guy who recorded that song was the same one who produced our King's Game album.
Nice.
And we are actually going to be recording with him again at the end of this year for our next album.
There you go. So the next song that we're going to spin for everybody is the song So Long. So why don't you guys tell us a little bit about this track, how you guys put it together, and if there's any kind of meaning behind this song.
Well, actually, Sam had written the lyrics to this song. It's basically about her. I mean, how do you?
It's about taking a bad situation in life that you don't feel like you can get away from, and just finding the strength just to move on from it and live life your own way.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Let me think. Is that actually what I meant when I wrote that? Yeah, that's it.
It's what the drummer said, so that's what goes.
She actually came to us with the lyrics, and then we kind of helped her rewrite them to fit the rhyme scheme better of the song, and we that song was actually written in probably 2 days.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's definitely been one of our best. I want to say best sellers, but we
Most viewed.
yeah, it's our most viewed video. On Facebook we got about 80,000 views on it.
Nice.
So
nice. All right.
So that's definitely a favorite from everybody whenever we play.
I'm sure about 7,000 of them are from me.
All right, guys, we'll check it out. This is So Long.
Love is deep inside my heart, but the anger you have keeps us apart. It drives you away and leaves me alone. This pain is greater than the love you've shown. It always makes me cry. But I think it's time for goodbye. So long to what I've known. I'm gonna do it on my own. Heart's broken, I'm choking on every single line. The rain outside is falling down, down, down. I'm wasting away, but you're never around. What we built has gone away. I'm heading for a brighter day. So long to what I've known. I'm gonna do it on my own. Heart's broken, I'm choking on every single line. So long to what I've known. I'm gonna do it on my own. So long to what I've known. I'm gonna do it on my own. Heart's broken, I'm choking on every single I sit and wonder why. But I think it's time for goodbye. So long to what I've known. I'm gonna do it on my own. Heart's broken, I'm choking on every single line. So long to what I've known. So long to what I've known. I'm gonna do it on my own.
All right, we are back. That was So Long, and as you know, we got Cody and Corey from ZamTrip, along with Samantha now.
Hello.
And we got my co-host Jay Smalls of the Nerdcast and the Undercover Brony.
What's up?
So we have now, if you guys know, Jay Smalls is a brony. It's okay. Don't judge. Don't judge the man. He's tried to get me to watch My Little Pony. It's worked a little bit. Just a little bit. I'll admit that.
One of us. One of us.
Dude, there's a hippie pony where you could just say that hippie was 420 friendly. That's all I could say. He's like, whoa, dude, you gotta stop being so angry. I
Really
was like,
killing the vibe, dude.
dude, you're killing the vibe. Anyway, so we're going to start talking about things that are not music right now, not music related. So, we're going to say, this is a question, you guys all field this question. What is probably your favorite movie?
Well, I'm going to answer for me. I want to answer for Cody. I hope he agrees. The Lord of the Rings trilogy and the 3 Hobbit movies are my favorite movies ever.
Okay, you just earned brownie points with my girlfriend, but she's not here. She's obsessed with those movies. Like, seriously. Like, her and I had this debate. Like, I was curious how obsessed she was. Like, dude, she even knows, like, the song titles to all the songs that were written in those movies.
Over.
I'm like, wait a minute, what? Like, they have song titles?
Yeah,
Like,
we actually know all those too.
what? Oh, God, you'll get along with her just fine then when we show up there at Madison.
Well, actually, I think I agree with Corey. Those are some of my favorite movies, but as far as just movie, it's I have a lot, but if I had to pick one, it would probably be Airheads.
Oh, that's a classic.
I love that movie.
Please don't look at my code. Dude, I can quote movies like all day long.
Either that or Step Brothers. You know, everyone loves Step Brothers.
I'm gonna get hell for this, and people are gonna stop viewing my show. But I wasn't a huge fan of Step Brothers.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm not a huge Will Ferrell guy.
I love most of his movies.
Are you
Like, I'm not really huge in the Will. Like, even John's looking at me now like, you don't like Step Brothers? I didn't say I didn't like it. I enjoy it, but I'm not like, oh my God, Step Brothers. Like, it's like a huge thing. Like, everybody loves it, but I'm just like, I love John C. Reilly though. Oh my God, I think he's hysterical.
I think Will Ferrell's funnier than he is though.
Have you ever seen Walk Hard?
Yes, I have.
God.
The Dewey Cox story.
That's all. Like, you ain't smell blind, son. I smell shit. I can smell that shit, baby. Smell that shit. Oh God. Okay, Samantha. Favorite movie?
Napoleon Dynamite is probably my favorite.
Oh God. Yes.
Classic.
Vote for Pedro. Vote for Pedro. Vote for Pedro. Dude, when he was dancing to Jamiroquai, that's all I gotta say.
You should ride in a vehicle with Sam because she plays that song and she dances in the seat like Napoleon Dynamite does.
Okay, Sam, road trip. We're doing it.
Yeah.
Next time you come to Wisconsin, pick me up. We're gonna do the dance.
Plus, I love the memes that come out of that movie. I mean, it's
Oh,
like,
no.
she looked at me, so I guess you could say things are getting pretty serious.
I guess you could think they're getting pretty serious.
Or even Uncle Rico ones for the NFL.
Oh God! Every year, me and my friend Bobby. Bobby, here's a shout out for you early. We do the mock NFL draft, but we do it with people that are in football movies. And it's like, we're always like, when we're sitting there, we'll do it like a part of a podcast, and we'll go, I wonder who's going to draft Uncle Rico this year. Uncle Rico's a strong candidate for almost any team. He can make, here comes the ticket. And the first pick of the draft, Bobby Boucher. Oh, I knew they were going to take Bobby Boucher. Bobby Boucher, a linebacker at SLSU, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's great. We have so much fun doing that. John, what's your favorite movie, buddy?
Well, it's one of those movies that instantly rocketed to my favorite of all time, and that would be Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
You know, I've only watched that once.
Such a good movie, though.
You know, my favorite movie, and everyone gives me so much shit for this, because it's like one of the biggest cult classic films of all time, and it's Boondock Saints. It is like my favorite movie of all time.
I cannot watch that movie. Corey tried to make me.
Hold on. No. I tried to make her watch Reservoir Dogs, and she couldn't get through it.
Oh my God! You could not sit through Reservoir Dogs?
That is okay. That is easily number 2 on
Why
my
don't you
movie
tell them
list.
why?
Hold on. No, that's not a lie. That is easily number 2 on my movie list.
I think my number 2 is The Outsiders.
That's a classic. You know what? We did a high school play where I played Pony Boy in The Outsiders. I played Pony. You stay golden, Pony Boy. I will. What's up? My number 2 is easily Pulp Fiction.
Oh, yeah.
So, with that being
Can't
said,
go wrong with that.
oh, definitely. Now, we have TiVo now. So, I mean, but back before. So just picture we don't have TiVo. But what would be a show where it's like, dude, I can't miss it? What is your favorite TV show where you never could miss an episode and you had to be there to watch it?
So I just got into this. My favorite is Frontier.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Melvin or Marvin.
What?
That show you were watching,
No.
The Wizard.
No. Oh, okay, Merlin. That's done.
Marvin.
They don't make any more episodes of Merlin, but that was awesome. But
Marvin the
Frontier
Martian has
is
a
my
TV
favorite.
show now, guys. Marvin the Martian has a TV show.
You know, I think
And he's a wizard.
And yet he still has not been able to blow up the moon.
Yeah, these things happen. You never know.
I think my favorite TV show, well, it's actually multiple TV shows that intertwine with each other, is Flash and Arrow.
Oh, those are
Those are amazing.
Of those shows, Flash is probably my favorite.
You know, I change every season.
Because I love who they got casted to play Barry. But who they had to play Barry in the Justice League movie, he was just as good. Like, he was really good. I was like, no. I when I see Flash, I think of Barry from the TV show, but the guy, oh God, I can't remember the actor's name, but he was in Perks of Being a Wallflower with Emma Watson. Yeah, I'm a movie buff. It's okay. But
I like Flash and Arrow too, but the only reason I like Arrow a little more than Flash is because Flash has way too many sing-along musical numbers.
Yeah,
just scattered in the show.
I gotta say, mine is probably Supernatural, with with right behind it being Doctor Who and Walking Dead.
I like Walking Dead too.
I liked Walking Dead until like season 5 when all the action kind of got taken away, and then it just turned into a big love story.
No, season 5 was awesome. When it got to season 6, I was kind of out of it.
Dude, I loved when they introduced Jesus. My name is Jesus. You're what? Isn't that a little sacrilegious, don't you think?
And I know you keep telling me about your favorite scene of the angel watching porn.
Oh, Supernatural, when Castiel is watching porn. That's like my favorite scene in the entire show. It's like, are you watching porn? Yes. Why are you watching porn in a room full of dudes? It was on. You don't watch porn in a room full of dudes, and you don't talk about it. Oh, great. Oh, great. He's got a boner. I was like, oh, God. But, like, no, it starts off with Castiel going, if the pizza man truly does love the babysitter, why does he keep slapping her rear? Perhaps she's been misbehaving.
Well, and
I
you know,
was like, oh, dear God.
I think the best TV show I've ever seen, though, all around, like, I love Flash and Arrow, but I think The Office has to be my all-time favorite TV show.
My all-time favorite TV show is The Practice.
I've never seen that.
The Practice. It's, oh, God, I can't think of the guy's name. He's the same guy that did Boston Legal. And
never seen that either.
Now I'm getting crickets. Now I'm showing my age right now. Let's move along here. Oh God, Sam, did we get you on this one? I'm trying to cover myself from showing my age.
You know, honestly, I don't watch a ton of TV, but I did just get into watching The Handmaid's Tale. That's a really good one, and Westworld. It's on HBO. I really like that too.
All right, John. This is. I just. Oh God. We're not going to talk about my age anymore. We're just going to move along, and we're going to talk on something that is John's favorite subject.
Well, I'll tell you this. For favorite show, I know it's going to be kind of cliche, but I love Breaking Bad. That show
me
is
too.
absolutely amazing.
That
Puts you
was
in right
such a
from
good
the start
show.
and doesn't let go.
I really liked the ending to that. To Breaking Bad. I thought it was really good how they ended that show.
You know what? Right now, Frank E. is going to explode and die because I've never seen Breaking Bad.
You know, neither has Sam. And I was watching it religiously, and Corey's like, well, this show looks stupid. And then he didn't have anything to do one day, and he watched an episode with me. And then he watched all of them before I could finish. Like, he started from the beginning after that and watched all of them before I could finish from where I was at.
You know, I just binge watched Dexter, and that show is so fucking awesome.
Dexter's a good show, too.
That show is amazing.
So, this question kind of skirts off into territory that I am very familiar with, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with. Do you have any favorite video games?
Yes.
No.
Yes. Sam hates video games, but this is mine and Corey's subject. All right, Corey, you can go.
Oh, there we go. This is John. Here you go.
Okay, if we're talking sports, 2K is my favorite until they finally come up with a good story mode on Madden. And I love Call of Duty World War II. That's probably my favorite video game outside of sports.
Outside of the sports video games, the best, well, even in Call of Duty, the best Call of Duty that was ever made is either Modern Warfare 2 or the original Black Ops.
Mm-hmm.
Everything they've made after that is crap.
Okay, and Sam, do you ever just, like, slip a quarter in and play a video game in an arcade?
Sometimes.
She likes Pac-Man.
I really like Candy Crush, and it pisses Cody off because whenever I co-pilot, I play Candy Crush, and he's like, "You're supposed to be paying attention to the road." I'm like, "Just one more level."
She's sitting there playing Pokemon Go like, "Ooh, look, a Pikachu! Stop! Slow down!"
I actually do like that game, too.
Oh, man. John,
Corey and I are huge nerds, by the way.
Oh, John and I are both very huge nerds.
Absolutely.
So
as is my girlfriend, because my girlfriend and I, now, we're not going to do spoiler alerts, because there are people, and if you have not done this yet, you should be shot. No, I'm kidding. But if you have not seen Infinity War yet, my first question is, what's your problem? But her and I went to go see Infinity War together, and we both nerded out like crazy. Like,
you know,
she was slapping my arm like, baby, look what's going on.
Well, you know, you're going to be upset with us about this one. We want to see Infinity War, but we just haven't had the funds to go see it yet.
Well, that's understandable. Because John hasn't had the funds to see it yet either, and I felt bad because me and Lissy went to go see it, and we were supposed to do it where me and my girl and him and his wife went to go see it together, but
didn't work out that way.
It didn't work out that way. But you know what? I'll go see it again because there is so much that happens in that movie where you probably need to see it twice. No lie.
So, are you guys stoked for Deadpool?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
So we're going to be watching that when we're in Wisconsin. We're going to go with Filthy Sweet to watch Deadpool.
I want to see Filthy Sweet again. Those guys are awesome. They are amazing. My favorite video game, on the other hand, is on the console that I despise. I hate Xbox, but damn, Fable is like probably my favorite game.
Oh, God, yeah.
Halo?
Fable.
Never played that one.
So good.
But I love playing Madden.
Madden's always great.
And I cheat. I always cheat because I'm like, well, in free agency, my team should have got this guy and this guy and this guy. Because my team kind of sucks. So, and no, I'm not a Packer fan, thank God.
You a Browns fan?
No, I'm a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. Die-hard Buccaneers fan.
Oh, no.
I know, right? But hey, at least we got Jameis Winston and Mike Evans.
Well, listen to this. So Corey and I, we're brothers. My whole family, and including me, are huge Denver Bronco fans.
Okay.
And Corey is an Oakland Raiders fan.
Tebow time.
So
were you on the Tebow bandwagon or no?
What was that?
Were you on the Tebow wagon or no?
He was good when he played there, but once they traded him, he sucked. So, I mean, I don't have a problem with him, but at the same time, I don't think he's that good of a quarterback.
I think he's a very, very talented athlete. Now this is my opinion. When it comes to Denver and releasing Tim Tebow, and I've had this talk with many people, you brought in Peyton Manning, arguably one of the best quarterbacks that was in the league at that time, and you had Tim Tebow, who was your very young, unexperienced quarterback. Have Tim Tebow learn behind Peyton Manning as the number 2 quarterback. Let him learn from arguably one of the best. And then when Peyton Manning retires, you have your future quarterback.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just saying. But no, John Elway's like, no, I don't want Tim Tebow. Dude, Tim Tebow, I am a diehard Tim Tebow fan because of what he stands for and how he is about his faith.
Yeah, well, Tim Tebow is he's a really good guy, and not like some of these quarterbacks that are just assholes to everybody,
Exactly. So now we talked about video games. What about anime? Does anybody watch anime?
No.
What?
That, I worked at Hastings, and I always got so much crap for this, but I cannot stand anime.
Oh, that's a shame. John feels bad because we left him out of video games. Go ahead, John.
Okay.
Moving right along.
Well, in that case, I have to say, I'm much more of a Nintendo gamer than anything else. I love me some Zelda. But I have to say,
favorite Zelda.
When it comes to sports games, this will kind of show my age a little bit. But I was repping for the NFL quarterback club. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Were you? That's because you were playing GameCube and Super Nintendo and then 64.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to more third-party games, I have to say one of my favorite series is Assassin's Creed, and my favorite of that series is Black Flag. I mean, it's one of those games where it's the part of game you never knew you wanted, but once you got it, you wanted it like chocolate.
Exactly. Did you see the Assassin's Creed movie?
Yes, and it sucked.
Oh, I did not get to see it. But then again, in my defense, I really wasn't intrigued to see it because I knew nothing about it.
Okay, I'm not going to lie. The ending was absolutely terrible. The movie was awesome. It built really well, and then I just thought it ended terribly.
Well, basically, if you really want to think about it, think about the Desmond Miles segments and how they were kind of lackluster, and imagine 3/4 of the movie being that.
So there's no anime fans in the house besides me?
I'm a little bit in anime.
Well, John, you're a little in anime.
Yeah.
No, we can't get into anime at all.
Well, that's a shame. That's a shame. Well, there goes that out the window. Crumble up paper, throw it away. Okay.
Let me just put it this way. After Cody watches anime, he has to clear his search history on his phone.
Okay, moving right along.
I've seen it. I don't know where that is going.
No.
He was on Pornhub and YouPorn and Xvideos.com. Wait a minute. Why? Brassers. All right, so this comes to the final question of the show, which all my viewers know. Frank E. is probably one of the biggest and hugest wrestling fans that ever walked the face of the earth. So here is the question. If a wrestler came to ZamTrip and said, I want to use one of your songs as an entrance song. What song would you hand them?
You know, honestly, I would hand them our brand new song. Like we got we wrote it probably like 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Yeah, we wrote it 2 weeks ago, and it's definitely our heaviest, fastest song we've just pump up song we've done yet.
Do we get a title for this song, or do we have to be left in suspense?
It's called Neck Deep.
Ooh.
That sounds like a sex title. You
Right?
have been watching way too much YouPorn.
It's actually about
Ankle
someone. It's actually about somebody who screwed us over pretty bad. So basically, they're neck deep in dark water. Like they're gonna get what's coming for them.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear that song. I hope you guys play it live when I come up in over the summer.
Oh, we will.
Awesome. So with that being said, the last song that we're gonna spin for everybody it's arguably my favorite song that I heard with you guys, which is Backseat Love Song. Dude, I love this song.
Oh, wait, really?
Dude, I love that song. I heard it. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna play this song when me and my girl are alone. Wait a minute. Did I say that out loud? Shit.
You know, a lot of the people that watch our shows, that's one of their least favorite songs, I think.
I love that song.
Well, that's because that's locally, though, and that song used to get played, like, before the radio station switched over here. The FM radio station in town here would play it, like, 3 times a day.
Oh, wow. Well, that would be why.
People hear it all the time. They're like, all right, not that song. But anytime we go out of state or out of town, people love it.
Oh, dude, I love that song. I do. What's the meaning behind this song, and how did you guys come up with it?
Well, I think you kind of know the meaning from the title. But it was kind of funny because how old were we? I was 14.
No, you were like 15.
I was like 15, I think, and Corey was 17. And we had a different singer at the time when we came up with the idea that we wanted, like, every band has a song like that's just like about sex, you know.
The whole song innuendos.
Yeah, just innuendos. And so we're like, we should make a song like that. Well, then our singer quit, and we ended up getting Sam. And so Corey had all these lyrics that he had written, but they were all from a guy's point of view. And then so we had to sit down and think about, like, changing them so it could fit for Sam and not sound completely weird when she was singing it. And I don't know, how long did it take you to write those lyrics, Corey?
About 45 seconds.
Wow. What'd you do with the other 44?
I proofread.
Oh,
no,
dear God.
Yeah, so that one was a fun song, and that was actually probably the quickest song we've ever written. Well, I think we wrote that song in like 3 hours.
Wow. It's a great song. Like, I love this song.
Well, thank you.
So, I mean, that about wraps us up here with ZamTrip for the Unsigned, Unhinged Meltdown. Do you guys have any shout-outs that you want to give out to anybody?
I guess we just like to give a shout-out to all the fans who keep coming to our shows and supporting us and buying our music, and all the promoters and venue owners who give us a chance to play when a lot of people didn't when we first started. And we'd like to thank you guys for doing this interview with us.
Yeah, you guys are, like, honestly, people like you guys are what is keeping local music alive. Doing interviews with bands from all over the country and spinning their stuff and promoting upcoming shows. And so huge shout out to you guys. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. That's the whole reason I put this show out there, is to really just support the local music scene across the country, across the globe. So many bands just struggling just to get people to come to shows. So that's the whole reason I started this podcast. So, guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for ZamTrip coming on today. Again, make sure you check out the Nerdcast and the Undercover Brony with my co-host Jay Smalls.
What up?
Hey guys, check out the next show. Hopefully we'll see you guys soon.
Peace out.
All right, thanks.
All night long. Sounds right tonight, but tomorrow it's wrong. Fast and heavy, you're screaming along. This is the sound of a backseat love song. It's only you and me, and I'll never tell, but it feels like heaven when you're ringing my bell, banging like a drum while you're screaming along. This is the sound of a backseat love song. Whispering into my ear, tell me not to stop. Let me hear you say my name, I'll take you to the top. It's only you and me, and I'll never tell, but it feels like heaven when you're ringing my bell, banging like a drum while you're screaming along. This is the sound of a backseat love song. Sound of a backseat love song, banging like a drum, screaming along. This is the sound of a backseat love song.